Shoot that dude.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips, including more drone footage and a confession from someone in the military explaining why we're seeing the drones and telling us the very things we should be scared of. You do yourself good to stay to the end. Without wasting any more time, let's set the ball rolling. This picture captures a group of kids playing outside, seemingly an innocent moment. But take a closer look at the vehicle in the background. What at first seems ordinary becomes deeply unsettling. Behind the car, there's a pale, almost white figure with eerie, shiny eyes peering out, intently watching the children. The creature's head is propped up by the car as if stalking them, its haunting presence casting an unsettling aura over the scene. What is this figure? Well, no one knows, but that doesn't stop many from speculating. Some insist it's a demon, whereas others think it might be a rake or a shapeshifter. I have my reservations as well, but I'll let you have the last word on this one.
I will be speaking about the drones. As you know, I'm in the Army, the military, whatever you're gonna call it. We are launching the drones up in the sky as of right now in New Jersey and stuff, in Texas, everywhere. Y'all don't gotta be afraid. Them are man-made drones.
This man, dressed in military uniform, shared a video online discussing the whole drone or UFO situation. The clip is fascinating, but it also raises a lot of questions.
What you do have to be concerned of, my bad, my eye, but it's the orbs that's inside the sky that y'all see that's glowing and stuff, that's shooting down the drones and all that. That's not a part of us. Them are actually real life aliens. Like, aliens do exist. They're above and they're below us. Yes, they do exist.
According to him, the drones aren't extraterrestrial at all. He insists they're man-made devices launched into the sky by humans, but that's not where his concerns lie. Instead, he directs attention to the orbs we see hovering in the skies, claiming that they are the real problem. He goes on to say that aliens are real. Not only that, but he also hints at humanity potentially facing evacuation in the future.
2025 there will be a lot more of exposing the truth. I can't say the reason why, because it's already out here, so I can speak on this. Aliens are real, and we will have to evacuate sooner than later.
In another part of the video, he speaks about end times, warning that humanity might be on the brink of destruction. It's as if he's hinting at some alien apocalypse.
I don't know what to tell you, or like, you just gotta, you gotta be prepared. Like, I don't know, because right now, it's only like really calculating like the United States though. Like, probably go to an island or some shit. Look, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. But hey, it is what it is. It's 2024, it's the end times. We all gonna, you feel me? I can't say the word, but you feel me? We all gonna, you feel me?
Now, given that he claims to be part of the military and is seen wearing a uniform, this adds weight to his words, or at least makes them worth considering. If what he's saying is true, then this is deeply concerning. But you have to wonder, why will all military men suddenly speak the truth? Don't get me wrong, but I know they get punished for these kinds of things, so is he telling the truth and giving himself up to the consequences, or is this someone trolling us? Once again, your view on this would be greatly welcomed.
It is what it is, man. Like, I'm not even joking, like, let me stop cussing on him. It's serious, man. Like, this situation is very serious, and like I try not to think on it, and I really didn't even want to speak about it, but
Because I told y'all there was something out here.
Holy shit.
Shoot that dude.
You gotta get in the open.
Hit him. Hit the dude, I think he missed it.
This footage is undeniably eerie. A group of men were camping out in the woods when they noticed this bipedal figure moving through the trees ahead of them. At first glance, it might seem like a person, but based on the comments of the individuals in the clip, it's not. You can hear one man in the video urging another to shoot at the figure. After 2 shots, the mysterious entity starts running and then suddenly vanishes in a thin air. Just like that, it was gone. Now, let's unpack this. If it were a person, shooting at them is deeply alarming and reckless, but considering how the figure disappeared, it's clear this wasn't an ordinary human. So what are we dealing with? Could this have been some kind of supernatural entity, maybe a spirit or apparition, or perhaps it was something entirely unknown, a being that only reveals itself under specific circumstances? It's hard to say, but I've got my money on the supernatural and paranormal. What about you?
You gotta get in the open.
Hit him. Hit the Dude, I think he missed it.
This footage, captured on December the 17th, 2024, comes from Northwest Ohio, where a woman recorded something truly unsettling. As she stood outdoors, the sky began to echo with loud trumpet-like sounds. The audio is eerie, resonating as if the heavens themselves were alive. According to the woman, she was about 15 miles from the nearest major road, ruling out typical city or highway noises, but it was not impossible either. But here's where it gets stranger. There have been reports of these haunting sounds coming in from all over Ohio. People have speculated about such occurrences for years. Some believe they're sky trumpets, others suggest more scientific explanations like tectonic plate movements creating subterranean sound waves that echo into the atmosphere. But the fact that this is being reported across a wide area makes it harder to dismiss as something mundane. What's your take on it? This footage was also captured on December the 17th, 2024, but from Cronulla Beach in Australia. The video shows a massive, unusual cloud formation hanging ominously above the ocean. What's peculiar is how this cloud seems to be significantly lower than the other clouds in the sky, almost as if it's deliberately out of place. The person who filmed this believes it might be a cloaked UFO hidden in plain sight, as some theories suggest advanced extraterrestrial crafts can disguise themselves by mimicking weather phenomena. Given its distinct appearance and how it stands out from the surrounding atmosphere, it's not hard to see why someone might think this. Members of my team buy into the idea of this being a cloaked mothership. Call me crazy, but with everything going on recently, I'm tempted to join the bandwagon. But what say you? In this clip, we see 3 deer calmly grazing on the right side of the frame when, out of nowhere, a mist-like mass floats across the left side of the screen. This isn't just some visual anomaly. The deer clearly notices it, and we see them raising their head to track its movement. Slowing the footage down reveals that this mist isn't behaving like smoke or fog. Its movement seemed deliberate, almost as if it's being guided by some unseen force. What makes this more mysterious is the deer's reaction. The conclusion of the paranormal community is that there's a spirit or entity either in or responsible for the manifestation of the fog. Perhaps it's moving from one plane into ours. It's hard to say, but one thing we are sure of is that if the deer saw it, then this clip cannot be edited. At least, that's what we think. What say you?
The mothership. And it ain't from Iran by the of it. We're under attack. Look at the size of the UFO.
And just like that, we're back to our drone and UFO clips again. This time, this was recorded by a man driving near the ocean who noticed a glowing red orb hovering in the sky. It's an eerie sight, and given the current frenzy surrounding UFO discussions, it's no surprise that some people jump to the conclusions that this must be extraterrestrial. But let's pump the brakes for a moment. Could this simply be the sun? After all, it's not uncommon for the sun to appear as a vibrant red orb during sunrise or sunset, especially when atmospheric conditions like haze, smog, or even wildfires scatter light in unusual ways. Usually, members of my team would jump on the UFO bandwagon, but this time they were skeptical and stated this was just the sun. Seeing Aaron, the conspiracy theorist, agree with Julius, the scientist and realist, made me do some research. After a little research, I discovered this was actually uploaded by a man named Jake who does funny skits on social media. This was his light-hearted joke concerning everything that's going on recently.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie. They had us. We weren't defeated, but they had us.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he had us in the first half. He really did.
Look, mothership. And it ain't from Iran by the of it. We're under attack. Look at the size of the UFO.
Next, we've got this footage from Tampa. This was recorded by a man at a gas station who caught sight of something unusual in the night sky. A vaguely outlined disc-shaped object. While its shape isn't clearly visible, the beam of light extending downward from it immediately draws attention. The beam is the most striking feature as it appears to stretch from the object toward the ground. The natural speculation is that this might be a UFO. This is a hypothesis many accept, but there are also some who think that this could be an optical illusion like light from a spotlight or a projection reflecting off of low clouds or atmospheric particles. You've seen it. Which of these do you think is likely?
Going to the gas station late at night. What the is that?
This unsettling footage captured by a baby monitor left a mother utterly shaken. In the middle of the night, she noticed her toddler standing upright in the corner of the crib interacting with something. At first it looked like the child was simply talking to thin air, but a few seconds in, she saw it. There was a shadowy, humanoid figure with black, soulless eyes and a menacing snarl on its distorted face, leaning eerily close to her child. Horrified by what she had witnessed, the woman refused to let her toddler sleep alone for quite some time. Many believe that young kids with that pure and unfiltered perception are more attuned to otherworldly entities. Could this have been one of those beings drawn to the innocence of the child? There's also the theory that what children often refer to as their imaginary friends may not be imaginary at all. Some suggest these entities could be spirits, or worse, something darker in disguise. Julius, our science whiz, on the other hand, insists it could be the silhouette of a dog poorly captured because of the poor lighting conditions. Personally, I see where he's coming from, but the woman surely would have mentioned that she'd had a dog if she indeed did have one. Unless, of course, she's lying for her 5 minutes of fame. Anyway, you've seen the clip, so what do you think?
It was just the light, but it's not moving, which means it's stationary.
This footage is from Florida, taken at sunset. The woman filming captures a glowing round object below the setting sun. Initially, there was a small shadow on it, but it moved away, revealing a full spherical shape. This object does not appear to be a reflection as it remains steady in the sky. After some time, the object moves in front of the sun, blocking it from view and becomes harder to see.
The circle has now moved like in front of the sun. You can see it a little bit, but it has now moved to in front of the sun. I don't know what that is. I don't know if anybody could really...
Once this was uploaded, many in the paranormal community suggested that the object could be a planet, which is plausible, especially considering its size, glow, and movement. It's not uncommon for planets like Venus or Jupiter to appear particularly bright and visible during certain times of the year, especially around sunset or sunrise. In the past, this would have been an easy call to make, but with all the UFO and UAP phenomena we're experiencing, many members of our team are unsure where to put this. You've seen the clip as well. Do you think it could be related to the ongoing UFO phenomena around the globe now?
Look at that. It looks like a planet with like an eclipse going on or something. What did I just watch? What did I just watch? Like, I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but what the hell is that? Like, it's not...
This next footage dates back to a warm August night in Austin, Texas. A man was unable to sleep, found himself looking out of his window when something unusual caught his eye. This vibrant red light hovers in the night sky. This wasn't just any red light though, it emitted what looked like a laser beam sweeping across the neighborhood below. The man was convinced he'd stumbled upon something extraterrestrial and speculated that it was aliens conducting some kind of scan over the town. However, as intriguing as this sounds, skeptics argue that might be a more mundane explanation. It could have been a sophisticated drone equipped with lights. High-tech drones have become increasingly popular for recreational and commercial use, and some come with powerful LED lights that can create similar effects. Still, the laser-like precision of the beam and the quiet hovering motion leave a lot of room for speculation. Personally, I'm tempted to think this has nothing to do with any terrestrial technology, but then again, perhaps that's just me. What do you guys also think?
Oh my god. Like, I'm not tripping, right? That's... What is that?
Would you believe me if I told you that what you're looking at here isn't an actual werewolf? Sounds crazy, right? But no, it's not. This is actually a person dressed in an incredibly realistic werewolf costume. Yeah, it's lifelike, I know. If we're being honest, this here looks more realistic than many of the alleged werewolf sightings we've come across online. This is allegedly from a Netflix set for an upcoming movie of theirs. It's detailed and very believable. It's fascinating how much effort and artistry can go into creating something like this. If I hadn't been told this was a costume, I might have believed it was the real deal. That's how far we've come with technology and costume design. The textures, the movements, it all feels so authentic. Don't you agree? Let's take a closer look at this video and why it's a reminder to be cautious when choosing your home. Captured on a security camera, the footage focuses on a small corner of a house leading to the yard. At first, it seems like nothing out of the ordinary, but then, out of nowhere, a faint apparition appears. It drifts slowly and eerily toward the yard, vanishing into the darkness. The couple living there admitted that they were already feeling uneasy, and coming across this footage didn't help. According to them, when they first moved in, a woman came to their gate and began praying. Naturally, they were confused and asked her what was going on. She told them that she'd lived there before with her boyfriend who tragically passed away in the house. Thinking she might be grieving or confused, well, they dismissed her story. But after seeing this footage, they're rethinking everything. Could there actually be an entity tied to the house? Some viewers argue it's nothing paranormal at all, claiming it's just a cat leaping off the roof and heading toward the lawn. But when you slow the footage down, the shape and movement don't quite match that of your everyday cat. So what do you think?
These Filipino researchers extinguish a fire using sound waves.
Did you know that researchers in the Philippines have developed an innovative fire extinguisher that uses sound waves to put out fires? This groundbreaking device is specifically designed to tackle fires around electrical equipment where water is not a safe option. The device works by emitting sound waves at a specific frequency that disrupts the flames, effectively extinguishing them. What makes this invention even more impressive is its safety. It operates at sound levels that are not harmful to human technology. This technology is a fantastic step forward in fire safety, especially in environments where traditional fire extinguishers might cause more harm than good.
Could we soon see a transatlantic tunnel from New York to London, which could transport people from one city to the other in just 54 minutes?
Elon Musk recently shared an ambitious vision on social media, unveiling a bold concept by the Boring Company, an underwater training system capable of reaching mind-blowing speeds of 3,000 miles per hour. This futuristic innovation, estimated to cost around $200 million, would allow trains to travel beneath the ocean, connecting distant parts of the world in record time. The idea has captured the imagination of many, sparking conversations about the future of travel. A journey across the entire Earth could take just 8 hours. Trips across the Atlantic, like from the US to the UK, would be reduced to approximately 1 hour. This concept has the potential to revolutionize global travel, connecting continents in a fraction of the time traditional modes of transportation require. It could redefine the way we think about long-distance travel and global accessibility. Now, the big question is, would you be willing to take a ride under the sea on a train hurtling at 3,000 miles per hour? While the idea sounds thrilling, it's bound to raise questions about safety, reliability, and of course the experience of traveling beneath the ocean's depths at such extreme speeds. For those with a sense of adventure, this might be the future of transportation that we've been waiting for. And for the rest of us, well, we wait for something a bit more, safe.
I could have sworn I seen somebody run through these woods just now. I live in a country, not too many people know about this back here, but I'm telling you, I could have sworn I saw somebody. Oh my goodness. Hey, Zach! I could have sworn. See, Zach, there is a man over there. What? I'm not even playing. You need to go check it out. There is somebody over there.
It was supposed to be a peaceful time close to nature until the woman filming felt something was moving in the woods. Surely enough, once she started filming, she noticed a humanoid figure peeking at them from behind a tree. The footage shows the camera panning across the tree line when, for a brief moment, a humanoid figure appears peeking from behind one of the trees. The figure seems to duck back out of sight as soon as it realizes it's been noticed. Naturally, she calls her boyfriend, Zach, to come check it out, and their dog follows. She kept urging him to be careful, and before they could get there, the clip ends. Yeah, it ends. When she uploaded the clip, however, she insists that there was no one behind the tree. Now, some are siding with her, stating that she might have seen a cryptid. Others are a bit more skeptical, stating that she could have planned the whole thing for her 5 minutes of fame. While I'm not disputing that's possible, take a look at the trees. They're so thin that I doubt the trunk is large enough to fully conceal a person. But then again, that's just me. What do you also think?
I'll go check.
Hiding about our tree right now. I'm not even. Be careful. I just seen him over there by that tree, Zach. Zach, be careful. I'm not even playing. Zach, he's right there.
I'm gonna die. It's getting big. Oh my god.
But there's 2 lights up there. Holy shit.
What is that? Oh my god, look at the design. What does it mean?
This footage comes from South Africa. Observers noticed a strange, straight patch of brightness stretching across the sky with 2 intensely glowing orbs positioned on either side of the luminous trail. The scene looks almost otherworldly. This fascinating event is known as the twilight phenomenon. It occurs when sunlight interacts with particles high in the atmosphere, often allowing rocket launches or certain atmospheric disturbances. The result is this beautiful display of light. It's no wonder that those lucky enough to witness it were quick to document and share their experience. Have you ever witnessed something so surreal in the sky? Share your experience.
Holy shit.
What is that? Oh my god, look at the design. What does it mean?
That's not the only peculiar sighting that has surfaced. We've got another, this time from an unknown location. The footage captures a mysterious glowing blue object hovering in the sky. Its luminous hue immediately draws attention, and as the camera zooms in for a closer look, the object begins to fade away, shrinking until all that remains is a tiny orb hanging faintly in the sky. Could this be evidence of a cloaked UFO? The way the object dims and almost vanishes is uncanny, leading some to believe it could be advanced technology. Others suggest it might be a natural phenomenon, though its unique behavior leaves much to the imagination. What do you think it is?
Oh my god.
A man walking the streets of Poland stumbled upon an unusual sight. A sheriff's car from California parked right there on a Polish street. How could a law enforcement vehicle from the other side of the world end up here? Well, I did some digging, and it turns out that a company sells stickers mimicking various law enforcement insignia from around the world. So the car wasn't an actual California sheriff's vehicle, but rather a local car covered with these decorative stickers. This revelation made sense, as the alternative would have been extraordinarily bizarre. I mean, I doubt an undercover cop would travel all the way to the other side of the world using the same vehicle he was using in his home county. Still, the sight of a California sheriff's car in Poland certainly makes for quite the experience. I would have requested a ride.
Did anybody go outside and look in the sky? This is crazy. Why is y'all meeting in one location?
From Poland, we head all the way back to New Jersey for another clip connected to the ongoing drone situation. A man named Rich captured footage of a faint, mysterious light gliding across the night sky. What's intriguing is that these weren't the usual orbs people often report. Instead, the lights moved in unison toward one direction, their patterns steady yet puzzling. The sight left onlookers speculating if this could be connected to the drones everyone has been talking about, or if it's an entirely different phenomenon. Whatever the case, sightings like these continue to blur the line between the explainable and the mysterious, keeping us wondering about what's truly up there in the skies. Does anyone among you live in New Jersey? Have you seen anything like this? Have you recorded clips like this? If you have, kindly mail them to the email in our bio.
Did anybody go outside and look in the sky? This is crazy.
A man named Christian Sprunk, driving on a highway somewhere between Colorado and California with his girlfriend, had an unsettling experience that he believes involved a UFO. According to his account, while cruising down an empty stretch of road, his car was mysteriously lifting off the ground. In the footage he shared, a strange light can be seen following the car on the left-hand side. He's convinced that this craft was responsible for the bizarre phenomenon. But the story takes an even stranger turn. Just as the first craft seemed to be manipulating his car, another unidentified object appeared in the sky. The second craft emitted beams of light, firing multiple times at the first. The man firmly believes that the second UFO intervened to save him from whatever the first one was trying to do. What are we to make of this? Was this a case of extraterrestrial intervention, or could it be something else entirely?
Now, pay attention to the top left-hand corner. Boom. See those lights? Boom. Another one. That UFO is shooting the other UFO, trying to stop it from with us.
Watch this heartbreaking yet heartwarming scene unfold as an ambulance begins to drive away and a loyal dog starts chasing after it. The dog's owner was inside the ambulance and the poor animal couldn't bear to be left behind. In a moment of compassion, one of the men riding in the ambulance stepped out, opened the door, and let the devoted dog climb in to be with its owner. The sight of the dog's unwavering loyalty is truly touching and reminds us why dogs are often called man's best friend. A man shared a chilling video on TikTok that has left viewers questioning what he encountered. He was exploring an abandoned house deep in the woods. As he approached the structure, he noticed something at the top of the building. A dark, shadowy figure appeared briefly at the window before retreating inside. The figure didn't look human and had no clear form. It seemed like a dark apparition, shapeless and eerie, watching silently before vanishing into the shadows of the house. Some speculated it could be a ghost or spirit lingering in the abandoned home, while skeptics suggest it might be a trick of the light or a hoax. With the video blowing up on TikTok, he goes back to the property and does a follow-up video. This time, he films around the place and notices strange whitish stuff on the ground. It might be snow, but he doesn't say. Given our experience with such things on this channel, it's best not to assume. Either way, this causes him to walk around the property to investigate. He then notices a being moving around the property. It's also humanoid, but maybe a bit more slender than the one he saw earlier. This causes him to fire a warning shot. Once he did that, it disappeared. It makes you wonder, why was it approaching him? Did it plan to harm him? Above all, what exactly was that? Some say it's a Bigfoot, while others think it's a demon. Whatever it is, I guess we will never really know the truth.
What the is that? What the is that?
This demonstration involving Mercury is both fascinating and educational. In the video, Mercury is poured into a bowl and then a red dye is added. Then a gloved hand stirs the mixture, but the dye and the mercury do not combine. Instead, the mercury retains its distinctive silvery appearance, entirely repelling the dye. What happens next is equally intriguing. A tissue is placed in the bowl. The tissue absorbs the red dye, soaking it up completely, but the mercury remains untouched. This is a great example of mercury's unique physical properties. Mercury is a dense, non-wetting liquid metal, which means it does not mix with or adhere to most substances, including water-based dyes. Instead, the dye, being water-soluble, interacts with the tissue but has no affinity for the mercury. While this experiment is captivating, it's worth noting that mercury is highly toxic, and such demonstrations should be carried out with extreme care, proper protective equipment, and in a controlled environment to avoid any risks of exposure. This also brings to mind all the theories involving red mercury, but we'll get into that later. This next one is indeed intriguing. It shows a flat, round object hovering with circular lights underneath arranged in a perfect circle. The lights glow steadily. The overall structure looks incredibly real, almost too detailed to dismiss as a simple hoax. Sightings like this are often a source of heated debate. On one hand, the precision and design of the craft match descriptions from countless UFO reports. On the other hand, advancements in drone technology and visual effects make it increasingly challenging to determine authenticity without further context. If this is a genuine UFO sighting, it raises questions about the craft's origin and purpose. Could it be extraterrestrial, or perhaps some advanced, undisclosed human technology? Without additional evidence or eyewitness accounts, it's hard to say for sure. This footage is eerie and unsettling to say the least. A woman was casually filming her dogs in the living room when she inadvertently captured something deeply disturbing near the doorway. As the camera panned, a dark figure appeared to cling to the doorframe, peering straight at her. The moment it realized it had been spotted, it retreated swiftly into the darkness. What makes this even more chilling is that the woman was completely alone in the house at the time, ruling out the possibility of a person being responsible. The figure's behavior and observing her in silence and then disappearing so quickly has left many speculating about its nature. Could this be a shadow figure often associated with paranormal occurrences? These entities are said to linger, watching silently and sometimes even feeding off of fear. Others suggest it could be an energy stalker, a term for a spirit that attaches itself to individuals for reasons unknown. For skeptics, the footage might need further analysis to rule out lighting tricks or a shadow cast from an unnoticed object. Regardless, would you stay in the house after witnessing something like this? Wondering what's going on in the sky here? Well, the individual filming and a few others noticed red lights scattered across the night sky. They were bright, shiny, and moving in an unusual pattern. There were a lot of them, and their synchronized glow immediately drew attention. The way the lights appear in their steady movement rules out the randomness of fireworks, so if it isn't fireworks, what could it be? Well, some have speculated about UFOs, especially given how eerily uniform the lights seem. Others think it might be an atmospheric event or even a rare military exercise involving flares. Do I know which of these it is? Well, no, but that's where your theories come in. Please share your thoughts on what you think might be going on here.
Meu Deus do céu!
E parece mesmo, meu filho. Olha lá. E é muito. Invasão alienígena, Di.
This next footage is truly the stuff of nightmares. A man went into an abandoned house with a flashlight and a camera documenting his exploration. As he walked through the decaying structure, his lights fell upon something in a dark corner that stopped him cold. A grotesque-looking figure. This creature stood motionless, its presence hauntingly eerie. Long black hair hung lifelessly over its skeletal face with deep sunken eyes that seemed to bore into the darkness. Its skin was sparse, barely clinging to its face, giving it an unnatural and almost corpse-like appearance. Could this be the spirit of someone tied to the house manifesting in this terrifying form? Or perhaps it's a clever prank set up to scare off trespassers. I'll let you decide on that one. What's happening here, you ask? Well, it appears a person has wrapped themselves in what looks like a trash bag crafted into a full bodysuit. To make it even more peculiar, there's a fake baby bump prominently displayed, and their face is painted pitch black with some white markings. Their hands are covered in long, rubbery claw-like gloves that add to the overall surreal appearance. What's striking is how confidently this person walks around, unbothered by the attention they're likely attracting. Is this a statement? Some think so. Some also think it's a sign to take mental health seriously. Others also think it's simply art. Yes, art. Art has long been a medium for people to provoke, question, or make statements, and in a world where boundaries are constantly being pushed, this could very well be an avant-garde performance piece. On the other hand, some might see it as an outlandish act bordering on absurdity. Some here, including both Aaron and Julius. Surprising? Maybe just a little, but what do you also think?
I'm speechless. Yeah, I'm still talking, of course. Stunning! Stunning! Oh my God!
This footage, captured on October the 25th, has been stirring up debates online. The video shows a strange object descending from the sky toward Earth. It appears elongated, almost like a dark vertical streak or pillar with a rounded bottom that faces downward. At the very tip, there's a glowing orb attached, radiating light against the darker backdrop. At first glance, it resembles a cloud, but its distinct shape and the orb make it clear that this isn't your ordinary weather phenomenon. It looks too structured and deliberate for a natural occurrence. I think it could be edited, but Aaron sees a possible UFO cloaking gone wrong. You see it too, so what do you think?
I'm speechless. Yeah, I'm still talking, of course. Stunning! Stunning! Oh my God!
Just days ago, a river tanker operating in the southern Azov Sea in Europe suffered a catastrophic accident. The tanker split in two during a severe storm, leaving its crew stranded on opposite ends of the broken vessel. This footage, captured from the section of the ship that remained afloat, shows the other half gradually sinking into the sea. Distress calls were made immediately and rescue teams managed to save most of the crew. Tragically, one life was lost during the ordeal. The ship was reportedly carrying a staggering 9,000 tons of fuel oil at the time of the incident. As the tanker split and sank, the fuel spilled into the sea, creating an environmental disaster. The release of such a large volume of oil poses a significant threat to the marine ecosystem, impacting wildlife, fisheries, and local communities that depend on the sea. While that's disastrous, the heavy breathing from the captain of the vessel sends chills down my spine. This is a fate I wouldn't wish on anyone. A man went hiking when he came across an odd-looking cliff. Out of curiosity, he got closer to inspect it and noticed something unusual. This wasn't just a natural formation, it was some kind of man-made structure, possibly an old kiln or even a small ancient workshop. The structure had a mortar-like opening made of clay and a piece of broken pottery. These clues suggest that this place once served a specific purpose, but the passage of time has weathered it down, making it resemble a natural cliff. So what could this place have been? Enter the perplexing world of shattered glass mysteries. A girl, after retrieving a broken glass from the dishwasher, decides to play detective and reconstruct the puzzle of the glass shard. To her bewilderment, as she diligently tried to piece it back together, something wasn't quite adding up. Despite her efforts to align the shard, it stubbornly refused to fit back in its original place. Turning it around only added to the confusion, as the broken piece seemingly defied the laws of glass puzzle logic. Even when it almost fit, there was a strange twist. The shard had to be inverted, a move that seemed to defy the natural order of things. This mind-bending scenario leaves us with a glass puzzle that seems to have a secret language of its own. Next, check out this wild discovery in the woods. Here we have a creature that defies the norms of nature. At first glance, this looks like your everyday deer, but a closer look will reveal there's more to this critter than meets the eye. Noteworthy are the peculiar features adorning its face, curious holes that seem to come to life with each breath, casting an otherworldly aura upon the creature. Believe it or not, locals call it the muntjac deer. The muntjac deer, colloquially known as barking deer, a small-sized cervids primarily found in South and Southeast Asia. Distinguished by their modest antlers, these adaptable creatures inhabit a range of environments from tropical forests to human settlements. Their females give birth to 1 or 2 fawns multiple times a year. So that's just a little about these creatures. As incredible and distinguished as they might sound, you can't deny the fact that they're creepy looking if you aren't used to seeing them. I've seen some pretty large animals in my day, but nothing could have prepared me for these horns. These have got to be some of the largest horns out there, and believe me when I say there are some species of cows or bulls that have such large horns. In fact, some cultures breed some of them purposely to show off their horns or see how big they can get. Now, you know there was no way today's episode was going to end without our bonus segment coming up, right? So could you find out what exact species this bull is and what country it comes from? If you believe you have the answer, you know what to do. Type it in the comments section with one unique fact about this big boy right here. Remember to start your comment with the word bonus. May the best human win. Next, we've got a clip someone sent in that he had allegedly recorded from the daily news in his region. Let's take a look at it together. What would you call this? Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, took one look at it and screamed, "A superbug." Now, when he said it, I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, the very idea of a superbug is amusing, but then again, you can't really blame him for thinking that, can you? I mean, look at the thing. Have you ever seen a bug that large? Now, I tried to do some research online to find if something like this has been reported in any part of the world, and try as I may, I found nothing. Naturally, I started to suspect this wasn't real. It definitely had to be a CGI creation, but then again, it could be the skeptic in me being loud. What do you guys think? A man and his friends decided to go out in the woods to take pictures of nature, the beautiful trees and the sky. But when they got to one particular tree, they ended up running back home in sheer terror. Perched on the tree were about 3 creatures. At first glance, they looked like birds. However, when the camera zoomed in, it became clear that there were no ordinary birds. They had web-like wings similar to bats, but they were much larger and had humanoid bodies. When the footage was posted online, many people were skeptical, believing it to be a clever CGI work. The debate raged on, with some insisting it was genuine while others dismissed it as a hoax. But what do you think? Could these creatures be an undiscovered species, or perhaps beings from folklore brought to life? Or is this just another example of impressive digital effects? There are many stories of people seeing things on highways, as these are often the sites of ghastly accidents due to all the speeding cars. A similar eerie encounter happened in this footage. A group of friends were driving home late one night after a night out when something chilling occurred. A dark figure appeared on the side of the road. Considering it was a highway in the late hour, it seemed very unlikely that anyone would be out there. The friends in the car were so spooked by the figure that they sped off in terror, their hearts racing and minds reeling with fear. This kind of sighting is not uncommon on highways known for fatal accidents. So what do you think it was? Was it a ghost of someone who had likely passed away in an accident there, or perhaps an otherworldly entity haunting that lonely stretch of road? Culture varies from place to place, and sometimes some might seem unique. Take a look at this footage, for instance. In the clip, we see a group of men gathered around a pot of sizzling food. Things take a bizarre turn when the guy in the center dips his hand into the hot oil and then casually puts it in his eye. As if that's not strange enough, he tilts his head in this weird position, giving everyone around a front row seat to the unusual spectacle. It looks like a street performance, but it clearly isn't. That's left many in the community asking what could be going on there, but no one can say for sure, but we can speculate. Some state that there's a possibility it's nothing more than a cultural presentation, while some think they have made pacts with God protecting them. Our skeptics like Julius, however, believe the whole thing is a hoax meant to steal money out of the pockets of the gullible. You've seen it yourself. What do you think? Whoa, talk about an unexpected aerial encounter. So someone's up there soaring in a hang glider over the Texas skies, minding their own business, when they spot a craft in the sky that's neither a plane nor a helicopter. The owner of the footage thinks it's a Metapod UFO. Now, Metapod or not, the big question remains, what in the world could this craft be? Is it a secret government project, an experimental aircraft, or maybe just some intergalactic tourists making a pit stop in Texas? What's your take on this airborne enigma? Alien visitors, a high-tech experiment, or just a really fancy drone with a flair for the dramatic? In March, a homeowner shared rather interesting footage from a security camera they had installed in their backyard. The footage shows what looks like a ghostly figure grazing near a wall that had a dark object in front of it. Out of nowhere, an invisible creature about 3 to 4 feet tall walks in front of the black object on the ground. This creature had an obvious humanoid form and looked like it was made of smoke. The only reason we can see it is because of the contrast with the black object. As soon as it passes by the object, it vanishes in a thin air. The footage caused a frenzy among viewers in the paranormal community. Some believed that this was an alien creature walking around, while others thought it was some sort of ghost or spiritual entity. What do you think this could be? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Am I the only one seeing the strange-looking lizard? No, you can see it too. Oh, great. I'm not seeing things then. The big question now is, why does it look like that? If I had $1 anytime I asked that question on this channel, I'd be a millionaire by now. After doing some digging around and research, which mostly means asking Julius, it turns out that the chances of this critter being an alien creature accidentally left on our planet are incredibly low. Julius and the other science geniuses I interviewed stated that what we are seeing could be the result of a damaged egg or a set of twins that never truly separated or developed well. While that does seem very plausible and logical, I can't help but entertain the idea of it being an alien species. I know the chances of it being so are very slim, but look at it. Doesn't it look like some cute little alien creature? Anyway, have any of you encountered an animal with a similar condition? Let us know what species it was and how different it looked compared to the normal-looking critters in its species. I'll be reading the comments. Brace yourself for this next one. There's a baby with black eyes, and no, it's not some edited clip or visual trick. It's a real baby. Now, we're not talking about the creepy black-eyed kids thing here. So what could be going on? Well, we don't actually know for sure, beyond the fact that the one who sent it in insists he was there when it was recorded. Some folks who saw the clip are guessing that the baby might have experienced some kind of trauma, making the eyes look dark. They speculate it would get better after a few days. Others are saying that perhaps the baby just has larger pupils that will grow into those eyes over time. Now, I haven't heard of that before, but neither has anyone I know seen this before as well. It's one of those things that sparks a lot of speculation and different ideas. This situation, however, is something that has been observed quite frequently in recent times. A lot of recent childbirths result in these babies looking like they're auditioning for a role in an Exorcist movie. What do you think could be going on? Wondering what's happening here? Well, this footage is apparently from Texas, and the whole vicinity was closed off because of low oxygen levels. This resulted in thousands of fish washing up ashore. But it didn't end there. Japan also faced the same situation, where fish were also washed up ashore because of low oxygen levels. What on earth is causing this? The truth is, no one could give us a single convincing answer. So is it something environmental, like changes in water conditions or pollution, or could we be dealing with some underwater cosmic event that's got fish feeling breathless? Whatever it is, it's making waves, not the good kind. Next, we've got a banana lying on a table. The hand reaches out to it, and this is what happens. The banana begins to pulsate as if it's alive. This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen involving food. What could be going on here? Several theories came to mind. Some suggest it might be an elaborate prank or special effects trickery designed to shock and disturb viewers. Others speculate that the banana could be infested with some sort of parasitic organism or insect larvae, causing it to move in such a creepy manner. There are also those who believe it could be a cleverly edited video using CGI to create the pulsating effects. What do you think could be the reason behind this pulsating banana? The nighttime seems to be the best time for all sorts of weird things to happen and for strange things to emerge. Someone captured intriguing footage while walking by the woods after feeling like something was watching them from the trees. When they turned, they saw a pair of glowing eyes at the tree line, intently observing them. In the dark, the outline of the creature became somewhat visible, revealing what looked like eyes and an obvious snout. It was difficult to determine if that was the entirety of the creature's body or if there was more hidden in the shadows. When this footage was posted online, it sparked a debate with people having different opinions about the identity of the creature. One group leaned towards more familiar animals such as gators, dogs, coyotes, donkeys, and pigs. However, others suggested a more paranormal explanation, noting the eerie vibe the creature exuded. Some speculated it might be a hellhound, while another person humorously suggested it was a Pikachu, and yet another believed it could be a djinn. What do you think about this mysterious encounter? Is it a familiar creature, or do you lean towards a more supernatural explanation? As we continue to unravel the mysteries of the unknown, the next perplexing footage presents us with a colossal creature washed up on the shores of a Philippine beach. Given its size, everyone who saw it thought it was a whale. That's at least until they took a closer look at the creature and realized it had no discernible aquatic features, no fins, gills, or anything that might suggest it was a fish. Some speculated that it might be a giant squid, but that's not what a squid looks like. As everyone tried to find the origins of the creature, there were also some who wondered how it died. Given its size, they wondered if there was a much larger creature responsible for its death, and like its origin, no one had answers, not even us. I'll have to leave this one on a cliffhanger until we find answers, and I'll report back to you once we have the answers, if we ever do. In the course of his exploration, Luisito, the YouTuber known for delving into abandoned historic sites, found himself in Chernobyl, Ukraine. This area carries the weight of a tragic nuclear explosion during the World War, giving rise to tales of radiation-induced deformities on creatures and other eerie phenomena. In this particular footage, Luisito, unknowingly accompanied by an unexpected audience, stands by a wrecked car in the eerie woods. What transpires next is a chilling revelation. A creature, humanoid in appearance but clad in fur, emerges among the trees, lingering briefly before disappearing into the shadows. The enigmatic sighting sparks speculation among viewers, with some pondering whether this could be a Bigfoot, while others entertain the notion that it might be one of the creatures purportedly deformed by the lingering radiation in the area. Could that be the case? This next footage was sent in by a subscriber. They were snooping around Antarctica on a map, zooming in when they came across this chilling image. It appears to be the giant skeletal head of a monster floating on the water with the rest of its body submerged. The creature's mouth is slightly open, revealing razor-sharp teeth. The sight is both eerie and fascinating, leaving much to the imagination. Antarctica is a place widely believed to hold many secrets shrouded in mystery and largely unexplored. Are we perhaps looking at one of those secrets? This creature certainly doesn't look like something you'd want to pet or take home as a catch for dinner. And since it's an image, we can't be sure if it's dead or alive. What do you think this could be? Let's take a look at this next footage. A man was walking home alone one night when he noticed something eerie. An object was floating a few inches above the ground right by a nearby wall. What makes this even more unsettling is that the object wasn't lightweight, nor was there any wind blowing. To make matters worse, it moved at a hauntingly slow speed as if something unseen was dragging it. It seemed to be following the man. He was understandably spooked by this encounter. One thing is for sure, this might be the last time he walks home alone at night. Anyway, do you think this was a wraith? What do you think was going on here? Share your thoughts below. Hold on to your history books because things are about to get wild. Scientists are on a mission to bring back the woolly mammoth. You know, those giant furry elephants that went extinct ages ago. Now, this information has been going around for a while. It sounds like a fairy tale when it started, but not anymore. These scientists believe that in just 4 years, we could have woolly mammoths casually strolling the earth with us. Sounds unbelievable, I know. But would you be down for some mammoth meet and greet, or is this a bit too much of a Jurassic Park vibe for comfort? Next, we have this towering figure, a real-life, modern-day giant. Meet this 24-year-old gentleman who hails from Pakistan and is breaking records in the height department. He stands head and shoulders above the crowd, making quite the impression. It's like he's living in a world of his own up there. Exceptionally tall people often garner attention due to their unique physical characteristics. Human height can be influenced by various factors, including genetics, nutrition, and overall health. But some are naturally tall without any underlying medical conditions. What's your take on this towering individual? A real-life giant, or just someone who's exceptionally good at reaching for the top shelf? I've come across conversations about frequencies and how essential and influential they can be, specifically how certain frequencies in music we listen to can affect our mood and overall well-being. Recently, I discovered some intriguing information about a particular frequency known as the miracle tone or love frequency, which is at 528 Hz. According to proponents of this frequency, when it's played, it can reconstruct human DNA and repair it to a perfect state. This process is believed to provide clarity of mind, inner peace, and even physical healing. These types of frequency tones or music are called healing tones. The 528 Hz frequency in particular is often referred to as the DNA repair frequency. It is said to resonate at the core of everything that connects to our heart, spiritual essence, and divine harmonica. Some people believe that listening to music tuned to this frequency can help promote healing and transformation on a cellular level. Is this accurate and legitimate? Well, it's hard to say. Different frequencies are associated with different perceived tones and pitches when heard by humans. There is some scientific evidence that certain sound frequencies can influence brainwave activity and have psychological emotional effects when listened to. However, many of the specific claims made about the impact of individual frequencies like 528 Hz on biological processes like DNA repair are controversial and not universally accepted by mainstream science. Would you give it a try? Considering all the weirdness and stress in the world, this might be a simple yet powerful way to enhance our well-being and find some much-needed peace, or a complete waste of time. Who knows? Take a look at this footage, captured in the middle of the woods by a late-night adventurer. On the forest floor lay a grotesque creature. It lay still with its arms crossed over its chest. The creature was pale, with long white hair cascading from its head and a single long horn protruding from its forehead. It appeared lifeless on the ground. The creature resembles something out of a dark fairy tale or a mythological cryptid. However, when the footage was posted, many people in our paranormal communities were skeptical, suggesting it was just a costume rather than a genuine cryptid. What do you think? Personally, I can understand why they think that, since this is one of the least convincing cryptids we've ever featured on this channel. But what are your thoughts? Is this an actual encounter with an unknown creature, or is it just an expertly crafted prop meant to deceive? You tell me. So the owner of a remote property sets up her surveillance camera for safety, and what does it capture? A strange entity zooming across the camera. This entity was in a long robe that swept the floor and covered it from head to toe. In its head, some of the robes were even flying in the air as the entity moved. Now, the property owner was very alarmed when he saw the footage. This entity looked very weird, and its movements were very eerie, almost as if it was floating and gliding at the same time. What do you reckon it could be? Please do share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section. A trail camera captured this creature in the woods. This has to be a bipedal wolf-like creature. That's a lot of words jumbled up together, but I know you get me. Just look at its snout and hairy body. From the waist down, it appears to be human. The darkness makes it hard to see, but we can see enough. I mean, take a look at its knee. So what could it be? Well, two things come to mind. The first originates from spooky stories and folklore, suggesting it might be a werewolf or a dogman. You know, the creatures that often show up in eerie tales. The weird features of this creature kind of support that idea. Aaron believes it's definitely a dogman, and I can't argue with him on that. The second thing that comes to mind has to do with the more skeptical folks. Some were already in the original post asking, hey, could this be a person in a costume pulling off a prank in the deep, dark forest? Instead of arguing these things out, tell us what you think. Dogman, costume, hoax? Be blunt. We'll be reading in the comments. Snakes are animals that come in all shapes and sizes. Some are very small, some are big, while others are gigantic. In a remote location, a group of men arrived at a farm one morning and made a startling discovery. They found a 30-meter-long shed skin of a snake. The sight of such an enormous snakeskin left them in awe, contemplating the sheer size of the snake that had left it behind. This incredible find raises numerous questions. What kind of snake could have shed such a massive skin? Could it be a reticulated python known to grow to extraordinary lengths? Or perhaps it belongs to an anaconda, one of the largest snakes in the world. The discovery of such a large shed skin hints at the presence of a truly gigantic serpent, one that might still be lurking somewhere nearby. If I were him and this clip was truly real, I'd engage the services of animal control or relocate. A snake of that size will make a meal of me in no time. What about you? What would you do? If you thought that was strange, here's another strange floating object that was shared on our paranormal platforms. This time, it wasn't a dark entity, but an oddly shaped white thing twirling right above the ground. This object was seen near a light pole, seemingly dancing in the air. There was no indication of wind blowing, and this thing didn't look like typical debris. So what could we be looking at? Could it be a peculiar type of balloon or a plastic bag caught in unusual air current? Or perhaps it's something more mysterious, an unexplained phenomenon, or even a paranormal occurrence? The concept of mermaids, or ningyo in Japanese, has a long and varied history in Japanese folklore and mystery. Unlike the Western portrayal of mermaids as beautiful human-fish hybrids, Japanese mermaids often have a more fantastical and mysterious appearance. In traditional Japanese folklore, there are stories of fishermen encountering mermaids at sea. These tales often describe mermaids as having a human-like upper body and a fish-like lower body. Some accounts depict them with a beautiful appearance, while others portray them as more monstrous. One notable artifact associated with Japanese mermaid lore is the Ibukjima mermaid mummy. In the late 19th century, a mummified creature purportedly to be a mermaid was displayed in Ibukjima, Japan. The creature had a monkey-like face and a fish-like lower body. This next one might make your stomach churn, so brace yourself. Now I know you were wondering what you're looking at here. This is the remains of Alyoshenka. Just in case you're wondering, the Alyoshenka, also known as the Kishtim dwarf, refers to the mysterious remains of a small humanoid creature reportedly discovered in the village of Kayolinovoy near Kishtim in Russia in 1996. The discovery gained attention due to its unusual appearance and the speculation surrounding its origin. The creature was about 10 inches, 25 centimeters tall, had a disproportionately large head, and lacked a visible navel, ears, or a mouth. Its features led some to speculate that it might be extraterrestrial in origin. However, the story is surrounded by controversy, and there are various theories about what Alyoshenka actually was. Some theories suggest that it was a deformed human fetus or a premature baby, while others argue that it could be a non-human primate. In any case, the lack of clear documentation and scientific analysis makes it challenging to determine the true nature of Alyoshenka. The number of unusual sightings in the sky these days is quite strange, if not alarming. Recently, someone shared this intriguing footage of something they captured floating over the ocean. It was a white figure in the sky that resembled a person with their arms stretched wide. The figure looked like a cloud, but there was no other clouds in the sky, just this singular, human-shaped formation. It seems very odd for the only small patch of cloud in the blue sky to be shaped like a person. This led to a lot of speculation. Some believe it could be a holographic projection, but who would be out at the ocean looking up to see this? Others think it could be an actual being in the sky. What do you think? Is this a mysterious being, a clever hologram, or just a peculiar cloud formation? In this next footage, someone discovered intriguing tracks near Meek's cabin by the water. The muddy ground perfectly molded the footprint impressions into its surface. The site where this print was captured is said to be a Bigfoot hotspot. The prints, although seemingly human, have an unusual appearance. They feature a mid-tarsal ridge and a significant girth, unlike typical human footprints. The debate over the existence of Bigfoot has been ongoing for years, with numerous sightings and evidence. The distinct characteristics of these tracks could point to the legendary creature, but they might also belong to someone with an unusual foot structure. So are we looking at a Bigfoot track, or are these just the prints of a human with oddly shaped big feet? In a daring underwater escapade, a diver plunges into the depths to witness the beauty of aquatic life, only to encounter an unexpected adversary, an aggressive sea lion with a disposition that seems less than welcoming. The creature, seemingly having woken up on the wrong side of the bed, initiates a series of attacks by swimming at high speed and forcefully slamming into the diver. While these marine mammals are generally known for their playful and curious demeanor, there are several reasons why a sea lion might display aggression toward a diver. It could be due to the animal feeling territorial, protective of its young, or reacting to perceived threats. In some cases, individuals may not be fully aware of how to interact safely with marine wildlife, which can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. While we can't tell which of these is responsible for the sea lion's attack, it serves as a reminder that these animals can also be dangerous. While driving on the road, the individual recording this footage came across a man in a white button-up shirt with trousers walking ahead of his car. It seemed like he was taking off his jacket, but then this happened. Out of nowhere, this person in a red shirt appears. If you take a closer look, you'd realize that there was initially no one in sight except for the man walking. It's not readily understood how the second individual appears, and if you know anything about the internet, you know that theories would fly almost everywhere. Some believe it could be a glitch in the Matrix, whereas others believe it's all fake footage. The internet is saturated with edited footage to such an extent that distinguishing between real and fake occurrences becomes a challenging task when these events genuinely unfold. But what do you guys think? Real, glitch, or a complete hoax? Tell us in the comments section. You know the saying, don't start something you cannot finish. Well, take a look at this footage.
Blue, blue baby, baby blue, blue baby, baby blue.
Two women were performing a fertility ritual in their room. One person had the camera and the other was saying in front of the camera as she recited some incantation and swung her arms back and forth as if she was cradling a baby. As she continued, right behind at her door, a pale head with dark hollow eyes poked its head in and stared right at them before quickly retreating. The woman holding the camera saw this and immediately alerted her friend. They both began to scream in panic and confusion. Did these women just summon an entity during the ritual? The sudden appearance of this eerie figure certainly suggests they may have disturbed something otherworldly. This is why we must be careful when meddling with these types of things. Julius thinks this is ridiculous, but I bet there are some of you who have done stuff like that with strange and unexplainable results or occurrences. Care to share? This creature is the stuff of nightmares. Imagine stumbling upon this giant worm with its menacing teeth. Definitely not your average encounter. The lack of details on its origin leaves room for speculation. Is it a creature from the depths of the ocean, a newly discovered species, or just a remarkable creation of special effects? Regardless, if it's not a man-made prop, encountering such a beast would be a jaw-dropping moment, quite literally. Let's hope it's just a product of someone's vivid imagination, because if not, humanity might just need to rethink its place in the food chain. Beneath the veil of the night sky, a curious observer captures an enigmatic scene, an array of strange lights hidden behind the clouds. As the lights blink and change color, it looks like some sort of party out there beyond the sky.
Meu, já faz mais de minuto que tá assim, cara. Nunca vi nada. É para lá só.
Honestly, I like to think that somewhere out there in the cosmos, a celestial DJ is spinning tunes while extraterrestrial beings do the moonwalk on a space dance floor. But hey, I'm not ruling out the possibility of the universe throwing a grand finale party either. It's been around for quite a few aeons after all. But on a serious note, what could they mean? As fun as they look, they could be signs, maybe nature's way of telling us something. But what could that be? Back in 2011 in Russia, a local farmer was woken up in the middle of the night by an intensive earthquake. As he woke up, he realized that the quake was not what he thought it was. It was an explosion. So the farmer set out to investigate, only to retrieve this. burnt remains of a strange creature. The head looked almost human, but its lower jaw was much bigger than a human's. The creature, smaller than the average adult human, exhibited limbs resembling those of an animal rather than a human. This spectacle was found in a maize farm, so the burned body was attached to corn husks and some maize. Now the question is, what is this? The locals said it could be an ancient witch that lives in the woods and eats children, but some scientists suspect it to be something else. With how the permafrost in Russia is melting, they believe that this could be one of the extinct creatures that might have escaped. As for the cause of the explosion, it remains a mystery to this day. A homeowner was woken up in the middle of the night by a strange tapping on the window. He went to check it out, and this is what he found. A monkey-like creature with wings was tapping on the glass from the outside. The creature had bat-like wings with bright yellow fur around its neck. It looked like it wanted to get into the house, persistently tapping on the glass. The terrified man didn't dare to open the window or investigate further. Some viewers speculate that the creature would be some type of bat, given its wings and nocturnal behavior. However, its face resembled that of a monkey, which is highly unusual for any known species of bat. Others think that this could be a paranormal creature, something out of folklore or myth. What do you think? Is this a rare, undiscovered species, a genetic anomaly, or perhaps something paranormal? Or maybe, just maybe, we had visitors from the Wizard of Oz. They have winged monkeys, remember? A homeowner arrived home after a long day, ready to relax. He was startled to discover something straight out of a nightmare approaching his front door. His eyes widened at the sight before him.
I'm scared!
A clear, slimy substance hung down from above, resembling snail slime but thicker. Suspended from this sticky thread was a strange, shell-less creature wiggling about in the air. The creature looked like a snail, yet it lacked the familiar shell. Its body twisted and turned, seemingly defying gravity as it dangled from the slime. Was this a new or rarely seen species? Perhaps it was a type of slug exhibiting some unusual behavior. Julius says it's possible that they're mating snails. Now, I don't know how factual that is because he was not in his element when I asked him. Can any of you confirm this? Also, what would you do if you encountered such a sight? Let us know in the comments section.
Scared!
Behold the mesmerizing serpent captured in the lens of fascination, a horned snake with orange skin. Its back is covered in spikes like a dragon from ancient stories deciding to show up in the form of this amazing snake-like marvel. It's like a mythical creature coming to life. At first glance, one might entertain the notion of a horned puff adder, but no, this snake is something else entirely. It's not your regular snake, it's like a mystery in itself. With majestic proportions and all these intricate spikes covering its slithery body, what type of snake is this? But hold on, here's a twist. We can't rule out that this might just be a fake snake created with technology. You know, people can pull off some pretty convincing illusions these days, so the mystery might be more about how it was made rather than what it actually is. Have you heard of the Dyatlov Pass incident? Back in 1959, a group of tourists mysteriously vanished while hiking in the Ural Mountains in Russia. When a search party finally located them, their bodies were found scattered across the area under chilling circumstances, with injuries that have baffled investigators to this day. What's even more unsettling is that footage retrieved from the tourists' belongings contained a particular image, one that some believe shows a large humanoid figure lurking in the background. Fast forward to years later, another piece of footage emerged filmed in the same region, capturing a similar creature. Many now speculate that this creature could have been a Bigfoot-like cryptid, and some even believe it was responsible for the deaths of the hikers. Could this creature truly have been linked to the eerie fate of the Dyatlov group, or is it just another mystery lost to time?
What the hell is that? Really? Really?
Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! No!
For some reason, going out at night often feels more fun and exciting than during the day when the sun is out. But as we know, the night is also when strange things tend to happen. One night, a group of friends set off for a fun night out in town. While driving along the road, they noticed some lights in the distance. As they got closer, what they saw was unsettling. 3 people were covered in white robes from head to toe, with one of them holding a flaming torch. They just stood there by the roadside, completely still. It was a disturbing and eerie sight. Now, some are speculating that they could be witches or part of some kind of ritual. What do you think?
What the hell is that? Really? Really?
Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my god! No!
Nations around the world are in constant struggle for power, with many holding nuclear weapons as leverage over others. But have we really thought about what would happen if one of these nuclear weapons were ever actually unleashed? Listen, as this woman breaks it down.
If you strike a nuclear power plant directly with a nuclear weapon, you will have a nuclear core materials meltdown. The land will be uninhabited all the way to Colorado. 330 billion pounds of soot goes up into the troposphere and blocks out the sun. And so, hence nuclear winter. Across the mid-latitudes of the globe, you have all bodies of water, freshwater bodies, become ice.
In a nuclear detonation scenario, it's a no-win situation. The initial explosion would wreak havoc, but the real damage unfolds afterwards. The blast would destroy a large portion of the atmosphere, blocking up to 70% of the sun's rays. This would lead to a nuclear winter, plunging the world into freezing temperatures, causing water bodies to ice over, and leaving food supplies depleted for years. Even if the atmosphere clears eventually, the ozone layer would be severely damaged, exposing us to dangerous levels of solar radiation. We'd be forced to live underground for protection from this radiation. It's an unimaginable scenario, but a powerful reminder of why these weapons are so dangerous.
Places like Iowa and Ukraine, breadbaskets of the world, they become frozen for 8, 9, 10 years. Agriculture fails. So now you have people, any survivors, who are, malnourished, suffering from radiation poisoning. Everyone who they know is dead, fighting over a tiny amount of resources.
What you are seeing is Crybaby Tunnel. If you're unfamiliar with it, Crybaby Tunnel is an urban legend associated with several tunnels across the United States, most commonly in Texas and Ohio. The legend typically involves eerie supernatural tales of crying babies or tragic events that supposedly occurred near these locations. In many versions of the story, it's said that if you stop your car in the tunnel at night and turn off its engine, you'll hear the cries of a baby or experience paranormal activity. The origins of the Crybaby Tunnel legend vary, but many revolve around tragic deaths involving a mother and child, either through accidents, abandonment, or even infanticide. Some versions claim that a desperate mother threw her baby off a bridge or into a tunnel, while others suggest a child was hit by a train. Despite the different variations, these locations have become eerie attractions for thrill seekers. The individual filming actually visited the area, and he made some confirmations, including seeing what looks like the remains of a baby. What's more, they actually heard and experienced the baby crying, which caused them to take off. Do you think it's the real deal, or are they just messing with us for content?
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Hell no. Hell no. Bro. Hell no. I know you guys heard that.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's fuzzy.
Yeah, unless I go far away.
You're trying to stay still and push on the parts that aren't.
In March, a woman captured a bizarre sight in the night sky. It was a flaming tube extending from the sky to the ground. As she zoomed in, the footage revealed bright orange orbs positioned vertically. This sighting occurred in the US and has left many people puzzled. It's difficult to determine exactly what this could be. Some speculate it's an atmospheric phenomenon related to lighting or plasma, given the fiery appearance. Others lean toward the idea of UFOs, especially with the involvement of the glowing orbs. But these are all just situations that have not been proven. So the question still remains, what exactly are we looking at?
Sucks.
Yeah, it's fuzzy.
Yeah, unless I go far away.
Late-night drives can be incredibly relaxing, but you always have to be cautious. It's not just wild animals or cryptids you need to worry about, but people as well. Take a look at this footage. A man was taking a shortcut home through a secluded path when a group of men suddenly appeared from the bushes holding sticks and canes. They charged at him as he sat in his car. Unfortunately, he couldn't drive away fast enough and the video cuts off right as the men reach his vehicle. It's unsettling to think about what might have happened, but just know humans can be as scary and as dangerous as any ghost or a dogman.
Mais ça bouge?
Oh. Attends.
A couple in France was out for a walk one night when they spotted something strange in the sky. It looked like the shape of a capsule, glowing a deep, intense red. This object was moving smoothly, floating across the sky in an almost controlled way. At one point, it dipped behind some trees, disappearing from sight, only to reappear moments later as if it had been observing from the shadows. The glow was almost luminescent, and with no visible wings or other identifiable features, it raises a question. Could this be something not of this world? An advanced drone, perhaps?
Mais ça bouge?
Oh. Attends.
A man set out to an abandoned structure deep in the woods in the middle of the night. As he explored the eerie place, passing by an old glass window, something caught his eye. It was a sudden, subtle movement inside. It was a creature crouched down with a small pale head. The sight was enough to freak him out, causing him to flee immediately. Now, looking back at the footage, it's hard to make out exactly what the creature is. Its shape and movements are so subtle, almost ghost-like. Could it be a rake, known for its pale and humanoid appearance, or maybe a skinwalker, one of those shape-shifting entities from Native American folklore? Some are even speculating it could be a completely different type of cryptid. Take a closer look. What do you think this strange figure could be? In Jamaica, there's this fascinating pool of water that ignites when exposed to flames. Take a look at the demonstration.
And fire is my great-grandmother was burning away a wasp nest from a citrus tree was here. The fire dropped into the water and ignited. She ran and tell her parents that ghost is down here, the water is on fire. Her parents tell her no, this is where the ancestors comes and get the healing whenever time they get wounded.
Isn't that mind-blowing? The man explains it, saying his great-grandmother was burning some items when all of a sudden the flames leapt onto the water and continued to burn on its surface. What's even more intriguing is that, according to him, ancient Jamaicans used to bathe in this very pool for healing purposes. Scientists have also come around to test the water for oil and gas, but there was no trace of either. So no scientific explanation can account for why this water catches fire. It's a mysterious phenomenon. A lot of African cultures mostly entail a lot of mystical situations that don't make sense with science, and this seems like one of them too. What do you think? Could it be some ancient energy beyond science, or is he lying to us? I mean, some in the community had this to say. So what do you think?
Scientists came here drilling it, looking for oil and gas. They didn't find any. You could in it and underneath it, no burn.
Oh.
Before the invention of speedboats, canoes, or modern ships, people had simpler yet equally impressive ways of navigating rivers. Take this video. An elderly man was spotted casually floating down a river, steering his course with a stick in hand, and his vessel was just a single log. Amazingly, he stood perfectly balanced, riding that log with the confidence of a sailor on a yacht, moving along like it was second nature. It's a skill that's both impressive and humbling, showing just how much finesse and balance can make even a log a worthy mode of transport. A homeowner started experiencing strange disturbances after moving into their new home, which was a bit isolated and gave off an eerie vibe. Now, if it were me, I'd probably move out right away, but these folks stayed put, thinking the odd feeling was just them adjusting to the new place. They ignored the signs until one night. They were woken up by noises coming from one of the windows, which had a wooden door covering it. When they opened the window to check, a slender arm reached in, trying to grab the man. Luckily, there were metal bars on the window that prevented anything from getting to him. The creature quickly ran off, but the family was so shaken that they moved out within a few weeks. Some say it was all just a prank, while others believe it might have been a skinwalker. What are your thoughts?
What is that? It's like shaking our entire house.
On September the 20th, 2024, residents of South Lake City, Utah, were rattled by a series of loud booming sounds that caused panic and confusion. People reported that the noise was so intense that it shook their homes and even led to rocks falling from the nearby canyon. Witnesses described hearing the rocks tumble. These booming sounds had no clear cause. Some suspected it could have been due to seismic activity or even underground blasts. However, authorities have not yet confirmed the source, which only people were more concerned about. Natural occurrences like rock falls, underground shifts, or even sonic booms from aircrafts are possible explanations, but without an official statement, the cause remains unclear. Has anyone come across more information on what could have caused this? Let us know.
What is that? It's like shaking our entire house.
I'm just trying to cut sponges. And they will not... What the It's magic, like...
A woman was calmly cutting up yams and placing them into a basket when something truly bizarre started happening. Every time she put a piece of yam into the basket, it would mysteriously float right back out and fall onto the counter. It was as if some kind of invisible force was pushing the yams away. Just look at it. One piece after another seems to defy gravity. It almost feels like there's some kind of anti-gravity force at play. But how could that be possible in such an everyday setting? Is it a glitch in reality or something else entirely? What do you think is causing this strange phenomenon?
I'm just trying to cut sponges. And they will not... What the It's magic, like...
A man was outside when he noticed this odd-looking cloud in the blue sky. A single, distinct cloud floating all on its own. What made it stand out wasn't just its isolated position, it was its uncanny shape. Some who saw it believed it looked just like the famous flying or Kintoan cloud from the Dragon Ball animation. Some also thought it looked like Casper the Ghost. I mean, I get where they're coming from. If you pay attention to the cloud, you'll also notice it move ever so slightly. See it? Clouds aren't supposed to move like that, or is it just me who isn't seeing the big picture here?
Las estrellas que brillan como tus ojitos preciosos. Amor, amor. 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 Es que hay algo ahí. Amor, no. No. Ay.
Here we have another mysterious piece of footage, this time featuring what is believed to be a duende. The footage was captured by a man who was out late one night speaking with his partner on the phone. As he walked along the path, something caught his attention on the left side. It was a small, dark figure, vaguely humanoid in shape. Curious but cautious, he moved forward. That's when the creature moved too, confirming it wasn't just a shadow or object. It was small, perhaps only a couple of feet tall, and had an eerie humanoid appearance. The man's instincts kicked in, and he bolted down the path in fear. When he finally gathered enough courage to glance behind him, the creature had completely disappeared. Was this an actual sighting of a duende, or was it something else?
Amor, 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 amor. Es que hay algo ahí. Amor, no.
If you don't believe in skinwalkers, then this first clip is just for you. The man, or rather man-looking being you just saw, was recorded by a Trailcam that had been set up in the region of Mount Shasta. A researcher had been informed of strange occurrences in the region, and he set up many cameras in the region wanting to capture the phenomenon on tape. One day, he was visiting the sites where he had set up his cameras and discovered one had been removed. After searching for it, he found it a great distance from where he had originally set it up. This excited him, and he went home to see what the camera had recorded. What you see on your screen is what he found on the Trailcam after tinkering with it. He showed it to the locals, and they told him it had to be a skinwalker. Wanting external validation, he uploaded it onto one of our paranormal groups for their opinions, and many thought the same. There were a few who expressed skepticism about the authenticity of the clip, but the number was not significant. You've seen the clip too. What do you make of it?
Is the government watching you, Bob?
I didn't think they were after 30 years, but, you know, due to recent events, I would probably change.
What happened?
Jeremy and I had a private conversation out in a remote area of my property. Cell phones in our pockets, but turned off.
All filmed.
And filming it. And Jeremy was down there to film some of this documentary. He left the following morning, and simultaneously there was an FBI raid at my place of business.
So the man being interviewed is Bob Lazar, and I will tell you more about him shortly. He went to a private location to film a documentary, and some hours later, he was greeted by the FBI. Bear in mind, I mentioned a remote area. The excuse given by the FBI was that they were looking for an individual who had bought toxic material, but Bob doesn't think that was it. They came with more individuals who could fit into his building, which should tell you something. Why were they trailing him though? Well, it's because of who Bob is. For those who don't know him, Bob Lazar is a controversial figure best known for his claims in 1989 about working on reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology at a secretive site called S4 near Area 51, a highly classified U.S. Air Force facility in Nevada. Lazar asserted that the U.S. government was studying alien spacecraft and that he was involved in attempting to understand their propulsion systems, which allegedly utilized element 115, moscovium, as a fuel source. He described seeing flying saucers and working on advanced technology that operated by manipulating gravity. Lazar's revelations ignited widespread interest in UFOs and government cover-ups, but his credibility has been questioned. He believes they were looking for lost element 115. For those who are hearing this for the first time, it's known officially as moscovium, or MC for short, a synthetic chemical element with the atomic number 115. It gained notoriety in UFO and conspiracy circles largely because of claims made by Bob in 1989 that it was used as a power source for extraterrestrial spacecraft at a secret government facility. Yes, you heard that right. This is why Bob thinks they have been trailing him ever since. While many believe everything he said over the years, skeptics point out inconsistencies in his educational and employment background, while his supporters argue that these records have been erased as part of a government effort to discredit him. It's a lot, yes, but what do you think?
FBI, what about this as a crime?
They're looking for some of the fuel from the craft that might have been stolen.
Element 115 was always something Bob said fueled the craft, a stable version. And to be direct, which Bob is being direct right now, they were looking to see if he had any of that taken out of Los Alamos where they machined it.
يعني يصير شرط الشغل وعشان يتخرج هذا هالشيء.
Now, we've shown strange stones and rocks on this channel before, and what you're seeing is no different. The man takes it out of the container he's keeping it in and rolls it around for a while till he puts it away. We're not exactly sure what we're dealing with here, but someone pointed out it might be a hematite. I wanted to do a thorough explanation, but concluded it might be best to get you rock experts talking in the comments section. So what do you guys make of this one?
شرط الشغل والعمل. ها شوفه شرط الشغل أعطيك هذه حاجة قرب عليه خلي يشوف. شرط الشغل.
When visiting Glacier National Park, it's always wise to stay alert for grizzly bears. A group of hikers learned this the hard way when a massive bear suddenly charged toward them at full speed. Staying calm, they stood their ground and began to shout, hoping to intimidate the bear, and miraculously, it worked. The bear redirected its tracks, eventually retreating into the wilderness. In a separate incident, another group wasn't so lucky. A hiker caught footage of them panicking and running downhill as the bear approached, only to hear others further up yelling, "Don't run!" Bears are incredibly fast, and running can trigger their chase instinct, making the situation even more dangerous. In bear country, staying calm, making noise, and keeping your distance are some of the best ways to handle an encounter with these powerful animals. The man behind this camera had woken up in the middle of the night to the sound of his dog barking in the living room. Concerned, he got out of bed to check it out, but what he found was unsettling. There, sitting on his couch, was someone, a figure in the dim light. But here's the thing, he lives alone. No one else should have been in his house. So who or what was that? The man panicked. You could even hear it in his voice as he called out to the figure. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it slowly stood up and began walking toward him. It moved closer until suddenly, without any warning, the person just vanished into thin air just like that. Gone. I would have freaked out, but the man kept his cool. Maybe this sight is the first time he's seen strange things like this in his house, but still, it's very unsettling. What would you have done in this situation? There have been numerous reports of strange and puzzling weather phenomena lately, and these clips are a prime example. The first clip was recorded in Saskatchewan. It shows a massive, thick cloud of smoke that appears almost solid due to its density. Some have speculated it might be from a nearby volcano, but it's unclear if there are even any volcanoes in that region. The mystery deepens as no one can pinpoint the source of the smoke. The second clip comes from a resident in Washington state. She stepped out of her house to witness an unsettling sight. A large murder of crows circling a particular area in the sky. The birds seem fixated on one spot, and no one has been able to explain what might have drawn them there. Finally, the last clip is from Chicago, where a resident noticed something unusual in the sky. The clouds were swirling in a spiral, almost resembling the formation of a tornado. But despite the ominous movement, the formation never touched the ground, leaving viewers puzzled. The phenomenon didn't seem to follow typical weather patterns, making it all the more questionable. So what could these strange weather occurrences mean? Are we witnessing something unusual happening in the natural world? A security camera just outside a small town captured something strange one night.
Del techo viene bajando esto, viene bajando esto. ¿A dónde va a chequear? ¿Cómo va a salir? Por ahí por donde está esa luz que está enfocando. Esa lámpara, mire, 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 con un objeto rojo, a ver la arena, mire cómo está brincando. Mire cómo sube la luz y la pared, ese objeto rojo, mire.
An unusual object comes hurtling down from the sky and vanishes behind a building. Then it reappears, gliding along the ground almost like it's floating, moving across the wall before vanishing from sight again. The object looks circular, glowing with a strange red hue, almost like flames surrounding it. The person who spotted this in the footage thinks it could be a witch, but it doesn't necessarily look human. So, what could it be? Back in May 2024, a resident in Alberta, Canada, captured something truly disturbing and audibly unsettling. A deafening, almost otherworldly sound filled the sky, resonating across the area. Imagine the powerful blare of trumpets or the ominous ringing of bells sustained for an unnerving amount of time. The video quickly gained attention as people speculated on what this eerie noise could be. Some suggested it was related to natural phenomena like atmospheric pressure shifts or seismic activity, while others leaned into theories about the end of times, alien signals, or even secret government projects. What could be producing such a haunting sound from the sky? A man had been hearing strange noises coming from an old shed on his property for days, and naturally his curiosity got the better of him. So he grabbed his camera and went to investigate. While recording, he walks around the shed trying to pinpoint why the noise is coming from, and that's when he stumbles upon something unexpected. Inside a container, nestled away, is a creature. At first glance, it's hard to tell what it is, but as he gets closer, it turns out to be an anteater. Oh, what a relief, right? For all the strange and mysterious things it could have been, it was just a harmless anteater hiding out in his shed. Next up, we've got a sighting that's left hundreds in awe. Take a look. At first glance, this does look like an everyday cloud with no distinct features, but after a few seconds, however, we notice something odd. A face begins to form. Now, whenever we talk about a giant face in the clouds, an omnipotent being comes to mind. Depending on the religion of the one observing, we may hear different names. The one who uploaded this clip thought the face looked a lot like Zeus. If you try hard enough, you'll notice a nose, jawline, and possibly a beard. Now, when you consider the fact that these clouds came up around the time of a storm was expected, then attributing the face of Zeus doesn't seem so crazy anymore. Since we're speaking of Zeus, am I crazy to think there's another face that could be Poseidon? Maybe I'm just overstretching here. You know what? Maybe I am, but let's move on to the next clip. This footage is truly unsettling, isn't it? The video shows a woman crouched behind a tree in the middle of a forest, her movements unnatural and erratic. When she rises, her legs appear twisted and bent at strange angles, her gait jerky and twitching. Her face is distorted, inhuman, and eerie, and she's wearing a short. As she begins to move toward the person filming, her unsettling appearance becomes even more chilling. Suddenly, she bolts forward with unnerving speed, and just as she gets close, the camera cuts off, leaving the viewer in suspense and dread. This is obviously staged, but it doesn't make it any less creepy. The combination of the eerie setting, distorted movements, and abrupt ending strike a primal chord, playing out our fear of the unknown. And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.